Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to use sample companies to practice your bookkeeping skills. So this will be great for you if you're a bookkeeper who is wanting some more practice. So I'm Bryce and welcome to the Virtual Accounting Strategies tutorial YouTube channel. So this channel was designed, it's designed to teach you all there is to know about accounting, bookkeeping, and the accounting software that we use as bookkeepers. Now, we're also building out the ultimate free course to learn bookkeeping in QuickBooks. So make sure to subscribe so you can be alerted when that comes out. So we're also making this channel in the free course because I had to learn these things the hard way when I first got started building my bookkeeping business back in 2015. There weren't a lot of resources like there are today to kind of help people. So we're compiling all the resources, putting it all in one place, and making sure that you can you're growing your business with confidence, right? Because what I've kind of found is that a lot of people could be successful in this business. It's intimidating to try and learn all different aspects of bookkeeping QuickBooks when you're first getting started. So by having this, we've actually assembled a mentorship program as well, where we walk you through from A to Z, from learning the skills all the way to making 6 figures per year in your bookkeeping business. If you want to learn a little bit more about those services in that mentorship program, go ahead and click the link inside the description either above or below the video to book a call with myself to see if we can help you inside of that program. Awesome. So jumping into this thing, more focus. So this is going to be most of a screen share, kind of recording video. I'm going to be showing you around QuickBooks, but first I'm going to talk about some pros and cons of the actual sample company. So the first pro is that it's totally free to use. So I recommend that you use QuickBooks Online, the accountant version. Okay, if you're a bookkeeper, because it's free for you to do your own bookkeeping, and you can see all different clients that you have listed within the accountant's profile. And you're just gonna get the gear icon and then click over the sample company, and then it'll switch right over to the sample company. So obviously the huge main pro is you get to do it all in here and just kind of play around while you're not messing up. You don't want to mess up your clients' books or your own books or anything like that. And some of the cons that you need to be aware of though, so it's not all super good. Yes, it's free and yes, you get to practice, but there are some downsides to it. So the main thing is that the work that you do inside of the sample company does not save. So if you do a bunch of work in it and make a bunch of invoices and different things like that, and maybe you log out, the next time you log in, those are not going to be there, right? So it's just going to have again, the base sample company stuff in there. And but it does come with some information kind of loaded in there, but every time it reverts back to the original information. So, pros and cons. You can also work on matching and categorizing inside of it, so that's a really good thing, right? So the data that's inside of there, that's very helpful. So that's another pro. So 3 pros, 1 con. Another con that you can have is that you're kind of at a little bit of the mercy of QuickBooks. So they can kind of switch stuff around any time. Sometimes they use the sample company to try different features, which doesn't really bother us, but it's just, there's some functions that you can't always do, and just some different things that just kind of throw you for a loop. For example, last time I was trying to make a video, and when I was trying to upload the Excel document into the bank feeds, it just wouldn't let me upload the document for whatever reason. So little things like that happen on occasion. It'll just say something you can't do this in the sample company. But for considering it's a free resource and it's a good starting point to practice, I think it's worth it, right? And I'm pretty sure that it gives you the advanced plus version inside of the sample company. I might have the name wrong, but it gives you a pretty good version of QuickBooks, so you can see a lot of the functionality that you might have to pay for if you didn't have the sample company. Otherwise, you can use it with your bookkeeping clients, okay? So if you want to show them how to do something, you can actually work in the sample company and be okay, cool, so here's how you create an invoice. Or if someone is in their office doing it, it's just like how I do it on this YouTube channel, make the tutorials. I actually making the tutorials for the clients as well. But it's just a little annoying that, it doesn't save your work. But if you need a practice resource that saves your work, however, there are a couple other ideas that I could share. So first of all, you could pay for another subscription to QuickBooks Online, right? I think almost always they give you a free month trial. So if you just want to tinker around for a month or so, you could maybe even get a new email address and just sign up for a free trial. That's another thing is you could just sign up with an email address, get the free trial, and then when that trial expires, use a different email address, get another 30-day free trial. It just kind of depends on, what your budget's and just kind of what you're trying to do. So anytime that you maybe either have a new client or you just have a new team member, you can just create the one and get the trial. Or you just start making some money and just invest in a in a sample. It just depends, where you're starting. Not every single person is starting in the same spot. But yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like some people don't really like doing like the business expense. Like, you don't want to have like an extra subscription or two, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, if this is the business model, it's going to get you, to 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 a month, paying, an extra less than $50 a month in the grand scheme of things is not going to be that much of a hindrance to you. So pros and cons of everything. Okay. Also, it does take a little bit of effort sometimes. Like, if you upload like 50 transactions, you play around with them, then you can just delete those 50 transactions. I mean, like, it might not even be worth it to kind of like play with it and just like pay for it. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you can pay for it, but if you're only going to do it like once in a while, once in a blue moon, whenever you have to like train something, I don't necessarily know if it makes sense to pay for it. But if you're like just getting started and like that's what you want to practice on, you want to like practice doing like a full cleanup, then maybe investing inside that subscription might not be a bad thing. Cool. Also, one thing to note too, I don't really recommend it, but it's just an idea. If it's a really simple business, like a new simple client that you have and it's like a simple business, and you just want to learn the basics of bookkeeping, it's okay to use Excel and to use spreadsheets. Like, if you're not quite ready to use QuickBooks Online, use the spreadsheets, and then as you get better and better at QuickBooks, maybe just start moving them over and just start doing more and more of that. Eventually you want to get to an accounting software, whether it's QuickBooks, Xero, Sage, etc. But in the beginning, if you're just getting started, like spreadsheets, work, right? I start off with like spreadsheets and QuickBooks Desktop, right? I actually wanted to mention Desktop, right? That's what I used to learn like QuickBooks, was QuickBooks Desktop. And they really do have a lot of like good sample companies with a lot of like data in there, and you actually don't lose your data when you log out when you're using Desktop. So if you're someone that's using Desktop and online, it could be a really good option for you. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say go like buy Desktop, because like, it is a little bit more pricey than what it used to be when I first got started. I wouldn't get Desktop just for the sample companies due to like that price, right? But if you're planning on mostly using online, I would just go with the QuickBooks Online, maybe get the free trial, because if you're going to be using mostly QuickBooks Online, the two platforms are different enough to where it wouldn't really be worth it for you to learn QuickBooks Desktop to learn online, right? So you might as well just go straight to online. Okay, so let's hop into our sample company. Now, I'm going to actually do this like my screen share now, so I'll just show you how to find it and all the other cool stuff that you can do inside of here. So here, I'm in my QuickBooks Online account. So just a reminder, if you're a bookkeeper, you should be using QuickBooks Online account version. I know we talked about it earlier, but don't use the regular version. And then if I clicked here, you could see all of my clients. And so there's like a list of each of my clients, and then I can go inside their QuickBooks. Also, if you click on this drop down right here, you can see all of my clients go like directly to them, to their books, and within like the accountant version. So I can also work on my books. So that's where I am like right now. So if I pulled any of these reports, it would be like, for the business. And that being said, a sample company, you could just go to the gear and then the sample company, like click sample company right there. So it opens up and it's Craig's office. It's Craig's Design and Landscaping Services. So it's a sample business, like a fake business. If you go to the bank tab and the banking tab, like it has a checking account. And then this might help you as well. You can take, there's a video that you can watch, or you can take like a tour where like it has like, different video things you can kind of like look onto. So it teaches you about them. So I never even really watched it because I kind of knew what I was doing by the time I got to QuickBooks Online, but basically it has like this like 4-minute long video. And it's like how to categorize transactions. So that could be really helpful depending where you're starting. And also, so take note of that. And now this has a checking account and a savings account and a credit card. And look, it has about 25 transactions. So these are all the transactions that are waiting for you to be put into like the bank account. Now, books into like your QuickBooks. Now these feed in through a fictional bank account, and you can practice categorizing these, so you can like practice, going in there, maybe like creating a vendor. In this case, let's call this like a rental, and then we'll just add it and then save it. And then this is the uncategorized income. So I don't know, it's like whatever you want it to be, promotional, or this is just like money coming in. So it's some kind of income. So let's say it's design income, and I don't know, whatever you want to do, you can just kind of like play around with it. You can add stuff to it, and then you can add a bunch of these and go inside like the bank register. You can see that all those things are actually in there. So this is just what I added, design income, and you can see like the vendor that I just added from rental. So anyways, you can see stuff is really being added. Like you can play around with the reconciliation window, and I have another video I just made that was going more into like how to reconcile. So I'll leave a link down for you, like either in the description, or if you just click like the bookkeeping playlist, you'll be able to go and see inside the bookkeeping playlist by like the time that you go and watch this video. Also, I consider this like a beginner level service. If you ever like watch the video about like talks about the level of services you should provide as a bookkeeper, and it gives you a little bit of tutorial you can find, like really definitely like take advantage of. So you can just make up like an ending balance and an ending date and then start reconciling. And just so you know, it'll show you how when you click these, like the number changes. And you want that number to be 0, right? So yeah, so you basically kind of get the point. But anything in here, here's like the reports. So you can pull all these reports and play around with them. You can look into payroll if that is like something you're interested in, to figure out like that out for your clients. Now, I don't offer like direct payroll through QuickBooks, right? Oftentimes like the clients we work with have a payroll company or have QuickBooks as like their payroll company, but I don't actually do like manual payroll in QuickBooks, if that makes sense. I always like having like a third-party app, or like using an app that like works with payroll. So then you can go and create invoices, and just like this, like the plus tab is a good one to know what's under here. So if you just want like a new invoice for a customer, you can create that. Now let's see what customer we already have in here. So in this case, Amy's Bird Sanctuary, he did concrete for her, and it costs about $500, and that'll actually create an invoice if you save it. And then you can practice, kind of applying the payment to that. Say like they paid you and you want to receive the payment, and play around with like all of this and see how that goes into like the bank. So I hope you guys have fun in the sample company. Let me know in the comments if you have any other like suggestions for how to get some experience within QuickBooks, because I know it's like challenging for a lot of people. Yeah, and also I really appreciate you watching. So hopefully if you want some help growing your business, but maybe you've been trying to do it or you're thinking about doing it, it's just not quite going the way you are. Maybe you bought a course for like a really low ticket course where they're teaching you bookkeeping, but now you need to be able to like learn the actual accounting skills as well. Go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above or below the video, to book a call with myself to see if we can help you inside of our mentorship program for beginner accountants and bookkeepers and people trying to get to the next level. Okay, if that's you, I'll see you on the call. If you're not quite ready, I'll see you inside of the next video. Take it easy.